Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video I just want to talk about one of the recent change that Blizzard decided to make to the non-tanks players in Legion Remix. So as you can see, basically now you will have 20% more artifact power when you are playing on a non-tank class. So basically it is something that will allow you to have more damage and healing from all your different artifact traits. And here, as you can see, it includes these different specific changes, with some of them that are even more than that. For instance, the Light's Vengeance has increased damage by 50%, and the Vindicator's Judgment also has the increased damage by 50%. So the main reason why they're doing that is obviously because right now tanks are really OP in Legion Remix, especially in Mythic Plus. But I think a lot of people are saying in the comments something that is really true. It's still maybe not enough because apparently I haven't been able to test Mythic Plus and all of that yet. But apparently the main issue is not so much the fact that players are not doing enough DPS or healing. It's just that it's too difficult for them to stay alive. So the main issue is literally just the survivability of the different specs that are non-tanks. And that's the reason why tanks are right now the only ones really doing some plus 30 keys or more, simply because they can actually survive the damage they're getting from all the different trash mobs and the bosses compared to DPS and healers who are automatically dying. So it's still something that I think is a good thing because, again, I don't think it's really that fun if everyone has to play a tank in order to just play the game and be able to actually complete the game. So at least like that, I'm hoping that some players were feeling a little bit frustrated and maybe were already thinking of having to reroll a class that can now tank will be a little bit more like confident with their character and with their choice. But I still think Blizzard needs to also just make sure that it's actually doable to do, for instance, a Mythic Plus 30 or 40 key with a tank, some DPS, and a healer. Because if that's not the case, then they just need to nerf Mythic Plus or try to find another way for players to not die by simply having too much damage to deal with. Now, I really think that, in my opinion, what you should do anyway is try to have at least one class that can do a little bit everything because it's just so much more OP to have, for instance, a druid that can do healing, that can do DPS, that can do tank. Same with paladin, same with monk. You have like these classes that can really be a little bit of everything. And I think it's just easier when you want to queue up for things, when you want to like do anything, because sometimes you don't really even need a healer anymore, for instance, for like Eric, normal raids, and these type of things. So you can just queue up and you'll still be able to then contribute to the raid. It's so much easier to be able to have these different roles. And also if you want to do some solo content or if suddenly you want to change, you will be able to also just switch to your other artifact weapon and to then start doing this overall. So I would still recommend you to try and maybe have at least one class that can really do everything. And of course, if that's, like not the class that you love to play, for instance, you love warlocks or mages, then that's completely fine. Just, play this class. But of course, it might just be a little bit more limiting. But this is the same as in retail WoW. Sadly, when you can only do one role out of the three, you will always be a little bit more limited. But yeah, hopefully again, I think this change is good. But just remember that having a class that can do all might be a good idea as well. So still, I'm happy to see that Blizzard is monitoring what's happening and that of course they are doing all these different changes. And hopefully it will again make it a little better for you as an experience if you are playing on a non-tank character. So that's pretty much it for today's quick video. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos. And in the meantime, I wish you all a great day. Bye.